trading the latest contract. So the ES is most likely going to be, the December, like we see here. Crude, however, is on the January, so CLF 22, and I believe gold is already on February. Yep, so GCG 22. All right. So the Russell and the Dow are okay the way they are, but we need to go to CLF 22, and we need to go to GCG 22. All right, so this is very important. You can always look. Okay, yeah, looks like we're all good to go across the board here. Um, we were, it's always very important to double check this stuff periodically, not just when you're trading the session with me. Mainly because sometimes the back month will remain active. There will still be plenty of volume being traded on it, right? As you see here, there's still like 1,300 contracts being traded on the gold December contract, right? As time passes and they overlap, this will disappear entirely. But it's a very important that you trade the contract that has the most volume, so that way you don't have any issues with liquidity not being filled and so on. All right, so let's go ahead and look at. So we do have gold loaded up here, and it looks like we are live across the board now, so we're good. Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here. So crude is loaded up, Dow is loaded up. Just want to get them all straightened up here so we can have a good picture across the board. Okay. All right, let's start with the Russell and the Dow, because of course they're going to open in about 10 minutes from now. So I would like to, be filled, preferably even to T2, if we could. All right, let me find out here. So, the reason why I'm kind of contemplating this one is, it goes down to 22.12.20. However, the moving average is at 22.12.17, so this is not going to work. But let's go ahead and explain it on a different instrument that perhaps will work, so that way it's easier to explain, it's easier to visualize and understand. 747. Okay, so this might work. 690. 690. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, so we're gonna look at the Dow here. As you see, we have four charts open. There's one down below here. That's the 50-minute time frame. That's where we have our auto climate applied. And then we have the 2-minute, 377 share, 233 tick. These are unusual time frames, right? And that's why we call them our edge time frames. These are the time frames that are giving us an edge when we're looking for opportunities. Right now, we're going to be analyzing the Dow on the 50-minute time frame. So the first thing that we got to look at is we have to focus on this chart down below. I'm going to blow it up just so it's a little easier to see. So a couple of things to be noted here first. The auto climate is confirmed, as we see here, the third one out of typically 8. So we're definitely not late in the party, right? You are not going to be, moving in on an extended move, but this is kind of like towards the beginning / middle of it. Let's call it, right? Third out of typically 8. So it's about halfway through. Most likely will be halfway through by the time we get filled, if this pulls back a little bit. So the first things that we need to understand and analyze is the fact that the auto climate is confirmed and not overextended. Now that we answered that question, where do we go from here? So from here, now we look for a place to enter and a place to exit. The way we do that is we also utilize the AutoUFOs from those edge timeframes. All right. So in the meantime, I'm just going to disable this so it's nice and clear. So as you see right now, current price is at 34,807. We're looking for a 34,746 moving average to be overlapped into a UFO on any of these three time frames, right? Any of these 2-minute, 377, and 233. So that's what we're looking for our entry point. So 34,746. Currently at 746, there is nothing. 34,7, 746. There's nothing there. Even though there I drew the line through it, but of course it's actually here. However, the reason why it's so close, if price were to shift down from where it's coming here, if it were to come down, would we expect price to touch these two UFOs? My answer to that would be yes. It's actually going to go all across these three UFOs. So that means we do have a trade if price were to come down a little bit. So if price were to come down, we can go ahead and enter this trade over here at 74,730. So 74,730 is the entry point. It may seem like it's very far, folks, but believe me, when the market opens, sometimes it. So now the second thing that we need to decide is, where are our exits, right? The first thing was, where's the entry? But now we need to know where's the stop, where if we're proven wrong, we're going to go ahead and close the trade and exit for a loss, or where our target's going to be. So now we're going to be going below 690. So let's go at 689. Okay. And the reason why we do that is because you see here we have 34,690 as the bottom of our UFO on both of these time frames. So we have to go below that UFO in order for this trade to be valid. And this stop is going to give us what our T1 will be. So if we go to 34,730 minus 34,689, we're looking at 41 ticks. All right, so 41 ticks. So we're looking at 34,771 to be our first target. 771 right there. All right, now let's just move this up a little bit. That's T2. We're going to decide where T2 is going to be by, again, going to the 15-minute time frame and figuring out what we're looking at above. So as you see right now, and this is a little bit more advanced, but as you see, price is currently within this UFO here. Even though it's a little distorted, this should probably be something, a little bit like that. Price is within this UFO here, so we're going to be disregarding this UFO because it's already touching it as our entry is being made. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for a higher exit, which means the first opposing UFO that's above that is right here. So our final target will actually be at 35,277. So 35,277, right click this guy. It's pretty easy like that. 35,277. All right, replace that order. Yes, and that's that. That's the trade setup. That's the way that we're going to trade this. Now, what I do want to just verify, and this is something we have that's basically kind of not brand new, but I would say it's our own platform. I want to see if there's any sort of additional edge that we could find utilizing our platform, as well as some additional indicators that we have here, which if you see here, we have a couple things. We got the Elliott wave turning points, the pivots, and the auto UFOs all in one. And interestingly enough, there is an actual Elliott wave to the upside that's giving us an entry at 34,802 to 34,789. All right, so the Elliott wave is also giving us an opportunity to take this long at this area, 34,802 to 34,789. So, just wanted to see how we're looking. Of course, the UFO, where we are entering down below here, okay, that's down below there, 34,730. Now, in all honesty, in all fairness, I would say, we're going to have an update to the climate in about 2 minutes. So this might get invalidated, but we're going to follow up on it and see how it's looking. Okay. Crude is currently pushing up against the moving average, down 3.5% for the day. Already a big move down, big move up, and so on. uh, And there we go, 62. That's actually a good entry point. Let's go ahead and take that. 53. If it comes back, 2, 2. So, a couple of UFOs already popping up there. I'm actually going to be a little bit more aggressive on this. Go down to 51. And of course, 1, 2, increasing the risk here. 2. Let me see where my final target would be if I have anything. I didn't think I would. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this final target and just trail stop it. Just because there's going to be movement. Gold pulled down a little bit. 96.7 is above this UFO. Actually, it's right on it, my word. All right, sometimes when it rains, it pours, folks. 1796.8. 1796.8. Okay, now we just got to move it down one tick, up one tick. Final target on gold. We got nothing? Oh, no, we do. We got plenty. All right, session started. Final target on gold will be 1849.2. 1849.2. All right. Now, we have a couple of trades that are already set up. Right? There's a couple of them that are already set up. Crude looks like it moved a little too fast. We didn't get on board. The Dow is pushing lower towards our entry, but is it still valid? So as we see right now, the current price is at 17,790. Let's call it 17,7. I'm sorry, 70. Let's call it 760. The moving average. This might be a little too close to call. We're just gonna watch it for now, but we have to be sure that we're getting in when it actually makes sense. All right, come on, there it is. Crude oil got filled. Let's just hope we don't get jerked around here into a stop, an immediate stop. Oof, man, smelling like that. Let's. All right, so crude filled, gold filled. The Dow is moving on up. I'll just go ahead and cancel the Dow for now. Man, crude just immediately went to the stop. That's fine. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how we're doing here on gold. It sucks when you have a look at that, a jerky move like that, and then it pushes down. That's always the ones that happen. But what are you gonna do? That's trading. Okay, so gold we're filled on. I didn't get a chance to see the Russell, but I'm guessing it's gonna be similar or the same picture as the Dow, which it is. So that's what it is. All right, so a couple of things here for gold. Our T1 is up here at 1797.9. If it does touch soon, I just want to be ready for it. What we would like to see on gold is actually a break above these highs here. That would be definitely a confirmation of more movement to the upside. Oh boy, I did not see this just now. What the heck happened? Um, so gold became unconfirmed even uh, the previous candle. So we're gonna go ahead and close this. I'm not sure when this happened. I really wish I caught it, but that's unconfirmed. That's unconfirmed. So we should not have taken that at all. And crude staying confirmed, even though it knocked us out. But if it starts showing some more weakness again, I would not mind taking it again. It reached that peak, those couple of highs there, but did not break them. 61, so its moving average is right here at 61. So if this is looking to go lower, it could give us a UFO right now that we could take at market. Just watching it for now. Obviously, no UFOs means no entry. I'm not quite sure how we missed the climate changing on us on gold. I didn't catch that. Okay, resetting. Moving on. Let me double check if there's any questions or comments. I think we're looking good here across the board. Yep. Okay, there's crude dropping a little. Now the question is if it's going to drop from here. Climate's still confirmed, so I'm keeping my eye on it. If it drops from here and it gives us an auto UFO, we can take this at market essentially. So there we are. Some strong movement there. Just getting ready for it. Come on, crude. Okay. There it is. 67.59. So let's go ahead and 54 is the entry. Stop's going to go above 84. Let's just double check that. It's going to be fine. With this UFO here, it's not. It has to go all the way to 92. Oof. All right, so maybe take this one with a mini. I'm sorry, a micro rather than a mini. We're already on a mini. So we're looking at 780 down on this side. Let's see where our potential target would be. Oh, we said we don't have one. That's right. All right, so this is a little bit of a longer, a riskier trade than I would like to make. So definitely take this one with a micro contract if you're not comfortable with the risk. I just want to see what we might see here on crude. All right, so we do have an entry down here with the Elliott waves down below where it's heading to right now, which is nice. Okay, a new UFO has formed. There we go. A couple of new UFOs were formed. This is kind of what I was expecting to happen, before it stopped us out. But of course, we had to pay our entry fee, so to speak. So let's go ahead and what I'm going to do is, because this is pretty much halfway there, and I don't want to I don't want it to turn against me. I'm just going to move my stop to above 61 already, completely almost eliminating my risk here. Touching on a UFO right there, a few ticks away from T1. Okay, come on, crude. Would have been nice on that initial jolt down to get that T1. All right, I just got a new green UFO there, not what I wanted to see. Let me just double check here how we're looking on the um, time and trade. 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we got some time still to let this trade work. If not, I could close it at market. Definitely feeling heavy, definitely feeling like it wants to touch that T1. Looking at it too much. Oh man, gold did end up going the way we wanted it to go, but the climate being unconfirmed said, hey, you got to get out. And so we did. All right. Come on, crude. A little bit lower. That's it. A few ticks away. What was the low there? 19, 4 ticks away from our T1. All right. There's our T1. Now, because I reduced my risk, I'm just going to move my stop to above this 36, mainly because I reduced my risk here to 140. So I'm going to take it at 140 increments, so 280. So around that 20, not 36, 26 area. 240 is actually right at that 30 area. So I'm going to move my stop there at 30, right there. So if it stops me out, I'm good. And I will explain why I did what I just did. Actually, 270, 140 should be right. Yeah, it should have been at that 280 area. So I'll explain why I did what I did. So this was our entry point here at, I think it was at 54. We adjusted our stop to be 7 ticks above at 61. Right? It was 7 ticks. So I was adjusting my stop according to my plan. Where the heck? Okay. So when you do an adjustment of increments like this, so you go 1, right? And then you go again, 2, and then 3. Every time it touches the next one, your stop follows, right? And that's our stop. So every time it touches another increment of 7 ticks, you just move your stop 7 ticks. It goes down again, you move it again after T1 is hit. So you could do this only after T1 is hit. So I should have been out at 32 when it touched 32. So, but of course it wasn't. T1 got filled there. By the time I figured that I need to apply this rule, it was already moving against us. But here we are. We're might have been a little bit too aggressive on it, but that's okay. That's fine. All right, let's take a look at the Dow, see if anything happened here. We had a big push up. Of course, the Dow is back at that 35,000 number again, very round number. So we're going to see if it tries to go for it today. So we have another 3 minutes to the climate update to see if we could get on board on any of this movement in the indexes. Just kind of a broad stroke picture just to see what's going on with the YM. is actually at an entry point here at 34,828 with the Elliott waves. So 34,828 signal given about 4 minutes ago. 34,828. So that's this UFO here. 34,828 would be there. So in the middle of that UFO, in the middle of this UFO as well. Not taking that because again, I'm still back testing. I'm still working on it. Once I have my data, that's when we can go ahead for it. Not before. Okay, so the Russell's coming down 2215. 2215. It's actually going to miss this. Even if it were to come down, it's going to miss that UFO as well. So I don't think the Russell's going to give us any opportunities right now. I'm going to go ahead and close it. Gold still unconfirmed. Nasdaq was actually flashing just now. Let's open the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq does move a little bit more, so we got to be a little cautious so we don't get stopped out like or get filled on a T1 that's not really where it's supposed to go. Okay, so looking at 345, 334. 334 is right there, but we don't have any UFOs. So as much of a sideways movement the Nasdaq is doing, unfortunately, we just don't have a UFO there. All right, now we have an update to the climate. Now it's even higher. Oof, gold. It's okay. Now it's confirmed, right? 1798. So this UFO here is an entry point, 98.9, 98.9, 98.9. Oh, not sell. Buy. Okay. 97.5 is that. So 97.4 will be the stop. 800.4 entry. Exit T1. Although this is already looking like it's worked itself out. Let's just move this out of the way. Yeah. Okay, crude pushed lower, coming back up again. 52. That's actually this UFO here. So 47 would be the entry right there, and then that 61 that we used before. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay, so that's another entry we could take on crude. Looking like it may fill. Okay, Dow coming lower. 770. 772. All right, so this UFO here, 779. 761, but that is a very small UFO, guys. This will be interesting if it works. 760, so we're looking at 19 ticks. Okay, it filled. It's pushing lower. Right, this is a very small risk. A lot of movement right now. It's very, yeah. No. Listen, it was according to the plan, so it's not that it wasn't. It just stopped us out very quickly, and that's all it was. It was a very small zone. It was a very small risk, um, but as you see, just a little too small. It's moving away from there though. It touched and went, but without us on board, unfortunately. Nasdaq 41, nothing there. Let's put it there. Gold already moved up without us. Man, wouldn't that be nice, right? uh, crude. Okay, big green UFO down below here. Let's see here. Couple ticks away. There we go. We're in it. 61, still looking good as a stop. Let's see if we'll have some sort of a reaction from here. Um, T1 within this green UFO, never a fun thing, but there we are. Nice push down. That's what we like to see. Come on, crude, give us that T1. What did it come? Tick away. Low 34. Yep, tick away. There's our T1. Good stuff. All right, so now let me just demonstrate exactly what I was explaining earlier. Oops. So this was our entry at 47. That's our stop at 61. I'm going to draw my trend line here, right? 14 ticks. So that was our T1, right there. If this goes down 14 ticks more and it doesn't make a new UFO, we're going to go ahead and take our stop and put it to entry. Okay, that's what I was trying to explain earlier. So now you guys are following me. So if it touches 19, let's change the color a little bit so we know, and it's a different one. If crude touches 19, we're going to go ahead and change that. Stop. If it makes a new UFO, we're just going to move it to the new UFO. All right. Gold, I'm going to go ahead and cancel. Nothing to do there. Crude is still active, so we're going to just gotta sit here. The reason why I'm sitting here, I want to see this UFO disappear, this green one. That means that all the orders are filled. There we go. 38 is our new stop. We do have a UFO. 38, definitely profitable trade. So now this thing comes out. We're not going to be doing this. We're going to remove that horizontal line, remove that horizontal line, and this one too, and this one too. Okay, so we do have a UFO. We have our stop there. You know, if it goes above it, that's fine. We'll still be profitable for the trade. All right, so the Dow definitely had some more room to go down. So that means we weren't right to go in there, but it made sense according to our plan. So that's what we did. All right, so that UFO is gone. So is the red one, and we are out, and that's okay. All right. That's kind of that, folks. That's the name of the game, is just fishing and waiting. All right, so doesn't look like we're going to see any other fishing opportunities just yet. But here we are. Let's see if anything happens. Just gonna delete this stuff and reformat that so it's nice and clean when I open it next time. All right. And let's see here. There we go. All right. So crew gave us quite a few opportunities. One really nice one here with that catching that top and the bottom, right? Stopped out there. Top caught again. You know, you could say we might have caught a bottom there, I guess, if this goes higher. But right now, what I'm seeing on crude happen is kind of like a wedge here. So we're gonna say which way we're gonna see which way this decides to break. Um, but as of right now, yeah, this is kind of how it's looking like. Matter of fact, we could even take that up there. So we're gonna see which way this light would like to break. Obviously, it's kind of dancing there, which is fine. There's plenty of opportunities when a market is trying to range. That's not a problem at all. Um, it'd just be nice to see which way this heads, if at all. And that's that really. Um, the Dow still confirmed, interestingly enough, even after that massive drop and trading below the moving average, it is now back above it. So, here we are. All right, just a waiting game for now. Nasdaq shooting higher. Dow kind of following, but not quite. As you see, it's the Nasdaq is past this high range here. The Dow is lagging behind. All right, so there's crude popping higher. Now let's see what it's going to do here and in this area, but doesn't look like it wants to do much. Gold, 1806, touching a UFO pretty soon. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Okay. What about, let's see, let's take a look at crude here on the 2 minute. A strong pivot here as well, as you see there, SP. Within a UFO, we could do an experimental short right here, 67.77, right? And there, 67.77. Let's just see, just for fun, what would happen there. That's that UFO there, so the stop would be above 92, expecting an exhaustive move up and then a strong push down. 93 would be the stop. Let's see if that could potentially work. This is just an experimental fun thing to do. As we see, we have a strong pivot within a UFO. I'd like to take it here at 67.77 with a stop at 93. Actually, this says the stop should be at 68 even, um, but it doesn't look like it's gonna make it there. I would have liked it to be on the push up and then a big exhaustion down to get our T1 quickly. But let's see if that could still happen. 93 minus 77, we're looking at 16 ticks. $51, no T2. I would have liked this top to be where we got filled. So we didn't get filled by 2 ticks. High of 75, yeah. And that would have been T1. All right, folks, just kind of experimenting and having some fun right now. Not really doing much else. There's that UFO. Okay, so that's that for today. I will catch you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.